Good morning, everybody. Firstly, I want to say a big well done on starting your fact files yesterday. I saw some amazing work and I'm so impressed. Today is Thursday, the 4th of March 2021. Today we will start by correcting a sentence, then we will write our third subheading on our moth fact file, then we will write our Did You Know section, and then you will be able to illustrate, which remember means draw, in the last box. So today you need your moth fact file, a pencil, and if you've got any, some colours. Here is today's correct sentence, magnetised to the first word. Did you know that moths have two antennae? Did you know that moths have two antennae? There are two mistakes in that sentence. Pause now and write the correct sentence into your book. Let's see how you got on. My first mistake is that I wrote the wrong two. There are lots of ways we can spell two because it is a homophone, but the number two is our red word spelt with T-W-O. And my second mistake is that I ended my question with a full stop instead of a question mark. Well done if you got those right. Yesterday we started our fact files. We wrote our interesting title, so I chose Marvellous Moths. We wrote our appearance section and our life cycle section, drawing the life cycle as well to show it. That means that we have already written half of our facts. Well done, everybody. So today we will start by writing about the habitat. Let's see what we know about the habitat of moths, where moths live. So we know that they like to sleep in forests, trees and hedges. And we know that they are mainly found in the United Kingdom, which is where we live. We know moths have adapted to their habitat, and we know that they mainly come out of their habitat at night time. So I'm now going to show you me writing my habitat section.
So I have one line section left, that's where I'm going to write about habitat. I've written my subheading habitat, remembering to use a capital letter as it is a title. The first thing I want to say is the country that moths live in. I think that's the first thing people would want to know. Can you remember the country that moths live in? The United Kingdom. So I'm going to write that moths are found in the United Kingdom. I've written my first sentence, just a simple, moths are found in the United Kingdom, remembering to use a capital on United and Kingdom as it is a place name. Now I want to talk about where moths primarily sleep, because they sleep for a lot of the time. And I can remember from our moth story that they like to sleep, they like to have a doze on trees and in forests. But I want my sentence to sound interesting, so I'm going to try and throw some adjectives in there to describe the trees in the forest. So I'm going to say, in the deep dark forest. Oh, I like that, in the deep dark forest. Let's start with that. So capital letter at the start of my sentence. In the deep, and between my two adjectives I need to remember that comma. Dark. In the deep dark forest. In the deep dark forest, moths. What could I say to make sleep sound more interesting? Sleep, nap, doze. I'm going to go with doze. In the deep dark forest, moths. And I don't need a capital on moths if it's not our title or at the start of our sentence. In our book, on the front cover, moths had a capital letter, but that's because it was the title of the book. Making sure my t and my are nice and tall. In the deep dark forest, moths doze on, well, they doze on trees, but I've got a bit of room here, so I'm going to use some adjectives to describe the trees. In the deep dark forest, moths doze on. Can you think of some good adjectives to describe trees? Shout some out at me. Oh, I heard tall, I heard mossy, I heard green. I'm definitely going to use mossy. In the deep dark forest, moths doze on mossy, comma, green. Mossy green trees. I think that paints a lovely picture of the forest, doesn't it? The deep dark forest, moths doze on mossy green trees. What do I need to end with? A full stop. Well done. So I've reached the end of my habitat section. Let's check I've included everything. So moths are found in the United Kingdom. In the deep dark forest, moths doze on mossy green trees. I am really happy with that. I've told my reader what country they can find them in, and I've told them where they could find them when they are dozing, and I've made it sound a bit more interesting for my reader too.
So now we have written all about the habitat. The last section we have left is other facts, and we're going to use this to make a did you know section. So in one of our empty boxes, we are going to write did you know and then one of our favourite facts. Remember, your other facts section might look different to mine. You might have other facts about moths that I didn't write down, and that's fine. You can choose your favourite fact to put in your did you know section, but I will now show you me writing mine.
Okay, my did you know section I'm going to pop into this box here, I think. So I'm going to try and give it a really cool looking title of did you know, remembering my question mark. So I will just pause you here while I do that. I've used a coloured pencil here to write did you know to make it really stand out to my reader, as I really want them to read this fact. My favourite fact that I read about moths is that one of the things they eat is the fibres on our clothes. If a moth got stuck in your clothes cupboard, it would eat its way through all of your clothes. So even though this isn't on lines, I'm still going to try really hard with my handwriting using a capital letter, and I'll probably end with an exciting exclamation mark. So here is my sentence for my did you know section. I have written moths like to eat the fibres of clothes, and I ended with an exclamation mark. I've got a bit of room left in my box, so I'm also going to draw a little picture about this fact to really draw my reader's eyes to that section, as I want them to know that fact. When I've done that, I also have one empty box left down here. So I'm going to do a drawing in here that links to one of the facts I have written. Now, I will already have drawn about did you know, and I already have drawn my life cycle. So next I'm going to draw about my habitat. You can draw whatever you like in here as long as it is to do with one of your moth facts.
Now that you have seen me having a go at writing about the habitat and did you know, it is your turn. Start by writing about the habitat on one of the lined sections, remembering to underline your subheading. Then you can write a did you know fact. Maybe you will choose your favourite moth fact. And then you should have a box left to illustrate, so you can choose something about moths to draw. You will need your moth fact file, a pencil and some colours. I cannot wait to see your finished moth fact files. Please keep them safe for tomorrow, as we will be looking through them and editing them with the writing stamp. Great work, everybody!